22 away from 9 now.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Which over the past couple of years or so, perhaps even since the recession hit, gardening for food has become more and more popular. Of course, it was huge around the times of the depressions and the world wars. In fact, it was the only way to for some people in order to feed themselves, they had to grow their own food. And now people are starting to convert lawns all over New Zealand into gardens. And Yates is recognising that by putting out a new book called the Yates Garden Fresh Cookbook. So it's a mixture of a gardening book, specifically vegetables, of course, and fruits, with a cookbook. Now, the cookbook side of things has been put together by Kate Fraser, who's the editor of Zest, the food and fashion section of the press in Christchurch, and also a recent book. We had her on recently talking about cooking times, a culinary journey through Kiwi kitchens from the 1930s to the present day. And Kate Fraser's with us this morning. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning, good morning. I sound like Aunt Daisy.
The sun's going right up the back passage there, isn't it? Yeah. How's your garden looking?
The silver beet is going to seed.
Oh, is it? Well,
yes, so it's very green and leafy.
Now I've got a question about silver beet, because I'm growing Swiss chard.
Same thing.
It is the same thing, isn't it? No, because I said that to someone the other day, and they said, what's your seed packet look like? I showed them the seed packet, and it was I want to say rainbow lights or something like that.
Yeah. It all turns green in a pot.
Yeah, but all the stems are different colours.
Yes, very pretty. I think some municipal gardening people have it growing in little city plots for its colours.
Oh, they do, of course. And people should go along and pick what
I
they want,
do.
I reckon, eh?
I hope they do.
Yeah, there should be more of that. What are they calling that? Guerrilla gardening,
That's
aren't
right,
they?
yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. And of course, silver beets are very nutritious.
Well, it is. It's sad some people don't like it. But perhaps if they thought it was Swiss chard, they might.
And saying that, the silver beet or Swiss chard that I'm growing seems to have a different taste to the traditional, the classic green silver beet.
Maybe because it's fresh picked from your garden.
Probably.
That makes
That'd
just
be it,
the most amazing difference. It hasn't been trucked from here to there and sitting around again and put in plastic and, past its best.
And I haven't put any chemicals on it.
Aha!
Either.
Oh, you might get slugs.
No, slugs don't seem to like my silver beet.
Ah, well, you can always sprinkle coffee grounds.
Yeah. Now that's a good thing, isn't it? Because I don't want to put any of those slug pellets or anything, because that's just going to leach and soak into the soil.
Well, look, I believe that coffee grounds do it. Whether it actually does, I don't know.
I think what it is with coffee grounds, and also heard eggshells as well, is that they don't like crawling over it.
Well, if you had a slimy belly and you had to crawl somewhere for dinner, you wouldn't climb over eggshells of coffee grounds.
What else is growing in your garden at the moment?
2 broad bean plants, I'm sad to say. The rest got blown over.
Yes. No, because I've got broad bean plants growing as well, and they're almost reached the end of their season. But they grow very tall.
They do.
They're very gangly.
Yes, and they do blow over, but I love them.
Yeah.
And some very thin asparagus shoots growing in my garden, and a whole lot of potatoes, because I have this guerrilla compost system that I throw out the potato peelings.
Yeah.
And they grow into potatoes.
Isn't that amazing, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's good, but it looks a bit messy.
Yeah. Just getting back to the broad beans, I planted mine, I think I sowed them, from seed. It was probably, I think it was autumn.
Yes.
And they're only just finishing their season now. But the first lot of flowers that started, they weren't pollinated.
Oh, might have been too early for the bumblebees.
Yeah, that's the thing that I noticed. There were no bees or any kind of flying insects this winter to go around and pollinate things.
Well, the theory is if you plant your broad beans on Anzac Day, they are ready to pollinate when the bumblebees come out. But I have heard that there's been a shortage of bumblebees.
Yeah.
So, don't know what, you might have to go around and do it with a little brush.
In fact, is that what you do?
I don't know, but that's what they do with vanilla pods.
Right.
Hand pollinate.
Because I did have to read up about it and figure out whether or not the plants were, what do they call them, asexual, where they pollinate themselves.
No. Are you a new gardener? This is wonderful news.
Well, I am really, yeah,
Great.
only the past 2-3 years.
And so are you cooking all this stuff up too?
I am. I've got very fond memories of last summer, where I just had so many tomatoes. Lousy with tomatoes, I was.
I know. That's joyous though.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because the tomatoes are so easy.
And you can give them away. I mean, you feel so generous giving away tomatoes.
Well, my freezer was stocked by the end of the end of summer.
Oh, this is good news.
Isn't that the reason why this new Garden Fresh cookbook
Yes.
has been created?
Well, it takes, I think they showed a good bit of foresight, because it takes a while for a book to come to fruition, let alone get to the bookshelves. But it's just right for its time.
When did you start looking at this?
I forget, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, really? Wow.
18 months at least. Yes, no,
Yeah.
because I think this time last year I had to take time off work to be cooking up things and writing down, taking notes and weighing and measuring. Yes.
It basically goes alphabetically through all the various vegetables that you could find in your garden, and combines sort of planting and gardening advice and then recipes. Now, where did the recipes come from?
Oh, everywhere. I'm not 21. I've been around a while.
Yeah.
And I had a family of people who, everyone gardened when I was a kid, and cooks and gardens sort of go together. You just had to make do and mend. But I have a lot of friends who cook who sort of said, "Oh, well, look, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Look, I've tried this with carrots, and this is great." And people are very generous when it comes to, good cooks, I think, are generous. They like to swap recipes and they like to share things.
The recipes don't seem too difficult, do they?
No.
I mean, they're flash in the way they taste, but they're not flash in the way you need to prepare them.
Well, if you can pick something from the garden and have it in front of people within the hour at the absolute outside, how great. You don't want to have to race off to the supermarket for a new ingredient or look up a book to see what that word means.
You know what I like? I like growing stuff that may be hard to find in vegetable stores or quite expensive in vegetable stores. Now, and I'm really keen this summer to grow eggplants. Oh, because you know how expensive.
Yes.
I saw one eggplant for sale for $6. Not. I think it was a few months ago now, but they're more in season now, I suppose. But they're actually not in season, actually, are they?
Well,
really?
They grow. No, you see what's seasonal, because they grow in hothouses and tunnel houses.
Yeah.
There's a huge operation in southwestland.
Yeah.
Where they but they're very, very nice eggplants, I have to say. But I think the garden variety would be just so different. Yeah, it's like growing peppers. The ones that, they're hard to grow, and I've only ever had 2 to a plant, but they taste altogether different.
Well, because you're in Christchurch, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Slightly colder.
Slightly colder, yeah. I had a good crop of chilies.
Oh, did you?
Last year, yeah, being in Auckland.
Lots of people down here grew chilies. Some people grew them inside and some outside.
Have you got any advice with the eggplants? Because I've got a bunch of seedlings on the go, various old sort of heirloom varieties. So not just the purple ones. I've got the white ones. I've got the green ones, and but I'm a little bit worried once I get them past seedling stage about how they're going to go.
Do you know? I don't know, but I would. You look up the book.
I will.
Yes.
It's in there. I know.
I'm sure that Yates know a lot more about gardening than I do.
Okay, what's your favourite eggplant recipe?
I like the one that I think it's actually in cooking times. It's not here, but I like stuffing eggplants with tomatoes and anchovies and things that grow where eggplants grow almost wild. I'm thinking of Mediterranean countries.
So they complement each other?
Yes, and tomatoes and the tomatoey herbs and the sweeter onions. I'm a bit off onions at the moment.
Are you?
Well, they're hard to grow and they go sort of rotten when you buy them. And
Are you-
I'm buying them just a couple at a time, and
Well-
I can never grow them.
Well, because it's not the right end of the. I think we're getting overseas stuff at the moment. It's like the garlic. We're at that in between stage.
Yes, but even in in post summer and autumn, I have trouble with onions. I'd love to grow them. Don't have the room really. I've got one of those a raised vegetable garden, possibly the most expensive one in the South Island.
Really? Well, it's all about space, really, isn't it?
It is.
And what you can do in your space. Well, it's been really nice talking. Garden Fresh Cookbook, the companion guide to the Yates Garden Guide, to the country's best-selling practical gardening book. Kate Fraser, thanks so much.
Thank you, and happy gardening.
Happy gardening to you, and enjoy the rest of summer.
I'll email you when I get the eggplant thing sussed for you.
Oh, good. Thanks, Kate. Cheers.
Okay.
Kate Fraser.